Dayton Parks Commission September 2nd meeting. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, everyone. Approval of agenda. Call for any addition, changes, or deletions. All right. Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the proposed agenda.
All motion.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right. On to the consent agenda.
I did notice that there was a mistake on the consent agenda. It says that Chair Knudsen called the August 4th meeting to order, but it was actually Dave Pickle.
Okay. Marty, make note of that.
Elizabeth Scott.
Thank you, Elizabeth. All right. If that's it, I'd entertain a motion to approve the meeting notes from last month's meeting.
All motion.
I'll second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right. On to the open forum. Do we have anybody online? Anybody?
Nobody's online.
Sad. All right. On to the council update. Councilman Slonick.
Let's see, you guys might already know this, and Marty can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe, as far as parks are concerned, trees and shrubs are going in or will be done sometime this month.
Yeah, so Iron Gardens, the trees are going in this week. And then Area 21, we're still grading that, but they should go in by the end of the month over there.
And irrigation also in all them parks is also, will be up and running by the end of the month, I believe.
Yeah, so all the irrigation, Iron Gardens, the irrigation is installed and operational there. We got to do some seeding there, so we're not operating there at the moment. We're doing some kill there. Elsie Stevens irrigation is installed. We've added a couple of extra heads around the seating area. Hayden Hills, the irrigation is installed and operational. We've got to do some grading and overseeding, which will happen in the next couple of weeks. River Hills irrigation is installed. We're still waiting for power to be run to the well and the irrigation controller over there. That should be this Thursday. That's going to be done, and then there'll be some final testing and some restoration work hopefully next week on that. And Sundance irrigation is installed in operation. We got to do some grading and some seeding over the next couple of weeks up there to get it all back to where it needs to be.
Cool.
And I got one more little piece of news. Likely in the next communicator, my office is down here on South Diamond Lake Road, and all this spring, summer, I've noticed this gal out there picking up garbage all the time. Her name is Lori Hansen. She's been a resident in Dayton since 2020, I believe it is. And she goes on her little walks and brings a garbage can with her, or garbage bag with her. And since 2020, she has picked up 246 garbage bags of trash along the roads and in the parks right in this area.
Awesome.
So she's going to have a little bio in the communicator coming up.
Cool.
That's great.
Cool. Very cool.
So
Thanks to her.
that's all I got.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Marty, anything to add?
Just a couple of things. Area 21, park there, they're still working on a lot of grading and some stormwater stuff. The parking lot has been graded and they're compacting that, adding a little bit of material ahead of the asphalt along with the trails over there. They're working on those. We'll get the asphalt on those as quick as we can. Sport courts and the playground have the concrete containers in place. Playground equipment is ordered. I don't have an exact delivery date on that yet, but it should be in the next 6 to 8 weeks, I believe.
Nice.
Own gardens and landscaping there's a little bit of landscaping we did on that, but the trees, like I said, will be planted this week. Water trails, we got a DNR update on that tonight from Eleanor. ESP, Elsie Stevens Park water trail landing there. The funding secured finally. We've got through all the hoops that federal government needed. We're waiting on one final permit to be issued by the MPCA, which is likely to be late fall. We're anticipating getting bid documentation together in 2025 and with the 2026 construction for both projects. An update on the prairie at Leathers Park. You will recall we had it seeded once and it didn't take, and then we had it killed off and reseeded. The cover crop has taken off well, but it's masking out all of the flowers and grasses from the prairie. So we cut that down this week to try and give the grasses and plants a chance to grow before the winter steps in. So it's part of the process. I did coordinate that effort with Prairie Restorations out of Princeton. So
Nice.
We'll see how that goes. And there's a couple of recreation updates, a couple of upcoming events. Back to school movie night is on Friday. From 8 o'clock, the movie is The Wild Robot.
Nice.
And there's a concert in the park on Wednesday the 10th at Elsie Stevens. That's Vinnie Rose, and that's 6 to 8 p.m. And then another concert in the park on Tuesday, September the 30th, which is Shane Martin, and that's from 6 to 8 also.
Nice.
Those are some rescheduled dates on there because of the weather interruptions that we've had this summer.
Sure.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Marty. Oh, okay. Fantastic. All right, on to the regular meeting items. Elsie Stevens Park Master Plan update and concepts from MSA.
So I've got Eleanor here is going to present and answer questions. What we have is a couple of very high-level concepts here taken from feedback that we received from the various meetings that we've had. I'm sure Eleanor can do a better job of talking her way through it than I can.
Sure, thanks Marty. Hi everyone, Eleanor with MSA, here to just do a quick high-level overview on Dayton Elsie Stevens Master Plan update. Like Marty mentioned, we've been working on this with him and with the Park Steering Committee. So just going to keep this high level. I want to go over some of the things that we've heard from the community engagement and where we're at currently and what our next steps are. So current phase, we've worked through all of our community engagement so far. We're developing, further developing the concept plans, and we're into the recommendations review and finalization part of the process. Public engagement has consisted of the steering committee, stakeholder meetings with select key individuals in the community. There was an online survey available for approximately 3 weeks via the, there was an ArcGIS link, and I believe it was posted to the city pages as well. And then had the pleasure of having a pop-up concept review during the car show out at Elsie Stevens. It was a pleasure to be out there and listen to the community and hear what they had to say. Some things that we heard during the online survey, we got a total of 134 unique households responding, which totaled over 400 people according to the different counts. One of the questions we asked, in addition to your household size, was your household age range, where are you from? The highest responses we had were age ranges of 35 to 44, and then also some in the obviously younger school age. Let's see. So household size, highest response was from people in a 2-person household. Household age ranges, again, had a really high response of people saying they were in the 35 to 44 age range, and then the 0 to 5 and 6 to 11 also as household members. Just a note, if you're reading through this later, this will total greater than 100 because people are responding, for multiple people in their households. Some things that we learned both from the online survey as well as talking to people in the community during the pop-up concept review. Decent high number of people are visiting this park already. Not surprising based on, I'm sure, what you guys have experienced yourselves, either daily, weekly, a few times a year. Those were all in the mix. Most people obviously walked or drive to the park. Definitely some multimodal in there as well. things that people reported currently enjoying at the park. Obviously, we're in the process of working with you guys on adding more amenities, but of the amenities currently out there, people enjoyed walking, jogging, the nature observation, community events, river access was also something that got mentioned as a current and desired future activity as well. As a part of the online public survey, we asked folks, from a list what they wanted to see out there. Restroom facilities, number one request in the survey, number one response in the survey. Other things that were highly popular were water play features, having some sort of pavilion or shelter out there, native landscaping, nature walk, and some playground equipment as well. From people's write-in responses and other things that we'd heard during the pop-up concept review were maintaining the natural park setting that's out there. People really said, this is a special spot that Dayton has. We want to see, its unique features enhanced. It's other things like enhancing river access, adding more trails, and then making something that's truly multi-generational as well. So this is just a high-level look at the concepts that were shown during the pop-up review and some minor tweaks as well.
If it helps, we have zoomed in versions
We have
of this.
as well.
Okay.
That's right, Chris.
So the first concept we've
Thanks,
taken a
Chris.
look at during the pop-up concept review at a high level, features included natural play, water play, parking for vehicles for different events at the park like the car show, additional natural surface trails and boardwalk, expanding the existing amphitheater seating, in addition to including shade and electric for the stage and reuse of the existing corn crib. So again, just at a high level, we've heard from a lot of folks that the existing amphitheater is something they really want to see enhanced and something that's key to keeping on, as well as utilizing the existing sort of like history of the park as a feature. Again, at a high level, sort of this, another concept we were working around with was, again, developing the park to have some sort of feature play area, but bumping up the amount of parking that would be present in the park for things like the car show or things like larger events, enhancing that amphitheater area with the stone seating and just expanding onto the existing profile, and it also including some sort of rentable pavilion with restrooms. So at a high level, those are some of the key anchor items in the park. Where we go from here, from this high level concept, is to get some direction on, what sort of alignments and layouts are you guys envisioning? Is the larger parking something that's key, that's really needed? Is the event, what that event space wants to be, if it's, rentable for picnics, or whether it's some sort of larger space, what sort of unique play features we're looking at. Those are all things that that are coming up next on the docket. So next steps, like I mentioned, we're in the review process and the refinement for final concepts and final documents. So I guess I'll open it up for sort of high-level questions about these concepts, feedback. Don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you have things to do.
Any questions from the group?
Very good.
Or even thoughts?
I'm on the committee, so I've looked at this and kind of provided some feedback already, but I think the one that is shown here, there's 3 concepts, right? Or no, just 2 concepts.
Just the 2.
Do you took the top 2 from what we'd shared, or?
Yes,
or-
yeah, based
okay.
on the last round of feedback and
yeah.
then based on the public and the concept pop-up we did out at Elsie Stevens, we've been refining it down to 2, so now we're looking to take that next step to the final plans.
Perfect.
I mean, it looks to me like as long as we add restrooms, we'll be in a good spot. Right? That's the consensus.
We can keep the rest
Just
natural.
put in the restrooms and call it good.
Highly, highly requested.
Is there anything missing?
Yes, that's what we would love to hear.
I guess my question is I know one of the questions there I saw about the, reuse of the existing farm structures was high up, since we do have that rural component of Dayton. Was that in any of the concepts? I'm just kind of looking and I don't see like the barn and
I
stuff.
believe in the first one, it's still maintained.
Yeah, in concept one, we have it being maintained, and then,
So like in this
Is that
area,
that? Okay.
yeah.
Yep, those are those sort of like shorter, squatter, existing silos out there.
And then concept 2 would be removing that then? Or-
Concept 2, so it doesn't have to be an either or with
Okay.
this. Just looking to get, what the highest priority is for enhancing, what's already out there, and then continuing on to build a unique area.
Yeah, I definitely see the parking and the bathrooms. Being someone that goes there on a regular for the different events, I think that would be very important for us.
I mean, overall, looking at them when I was studying them, I liked concept 1 better. I felt like it hit a lot more of the variety of ideas that we were hoping for. Because I do feel like, this is our premier park, and so I like that one has additional variety, I guess, so that it can hit families of all different ages. I think it hits the families better that way. I did
Great.
notice in concept 2 that you had additional parking so it's Elsie Stevens, and then this is
An overlook.
the overlook. You had additional parking in that overlook, and I was just wondering if we couldn't add that to concept 1 to maybe help with additional parking up in that area, because like I've rented it out for a function before for my church, and it was hard with parking, so I like that there's additional parking up there also. We used the parking down at Elsie, but then some people didn't like the lockup.
Yeah.
Eleanor, do you know the concept 1 and 2, those two parking lots? Capacity on those?
Concept 1, the main parking lot, this larger sort of,
Right in the middle?
yep, this larger one, that's got 120, give or take, spots in there, plus an additional 40 in over here.
Would there be, I do understand why concept 2 would be nicer, because it looked like that was more like 220, if I remember from the earlier slide. But yet making it that large over there, you miss out on all of the history, and I personally love the history of it, so I don't know if there's a way to extend that parking in the middle there on concept 1 to get closer to the 220. Would there be a way to do that?
But to me, you just make that one smaller and add the 120 on the other side.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute.
Would you
What,
keep the
smaller?
playground?
Make the, on concept 2, to me, you just make that one a little smaller. If you want to keep the green bins or, I've got mixed feelings on the barn and the green bins, or the silo, but to me, they're going to be more of a liability than keeping, but you could make that parking lot smaller, knock that one down to 100 or 150, and then use the 120 on the other side.
I see what you're saying.
For this park, to me, if you go to, once you get to the splash pad idea, if there's a water function there, or the playground, and even the August 8th event, there was probably 500 people at that park.
Right.
So 120 to 200 stalls to me is just not enough.
Right.
I can see this park having 600-700 people in it by as early as next summer.
Possible.
Because when we have those types of situations, let's say there's 1,000 people there,
Yep.
it's 500 to 1,000. and we've only got parking for, even if it's 160, 200, like, where do we tell them to, do we tell them to go park at people's neighborhoods at River Hills and then
Right.
walk over?
Right.
Which we have to pass, but is that, from a communication standpoint, do we try to get everybody to take bikes? Do we try to get everybody to?
That was what I
Ideally,
was
right?
thinking, is that through like communication and whatever else through the city, you can encourage those who can walk or bike to do so. You could potentially also, I don't know, if how many times are we anticipating that 500 plus people are coming? And if
2 times a year?
that's what I was wondering. And so then for those times, is it possible that we find another place with more parking and then offer some sort of like a shuttle situation?
Or a grass parking type situation, like
grass,
Champlin, I don't know how many people have done crossings for events this summer, but they've actually now worked it where they're having people park they've made some room in the neighborhood, and then you just walk under the bridge, under 169, and you just park in a grass area in the neighborhood, and it seemed to go really well the last 2 years now they've been doing that, because the other area was so congested. So I'm just trying to think of backup plans. If we don't go for the bigger parking, what other alternatives can we
Yeah.
do to make sure that we're communicating to people? Because there's nothing worse than when the band starts at 7 or something starts at 7 and all of a sudden it's 6:45 and there's no parking left and everyone's scrambling and.
Right.
But
But at
then
the same
currently-
time, I don't want to fill this whole park with parking.
That's
We wanna-
That's my
100%,
concern.
100%.
Marty, you had something?
Currently, we do use overflow parking in the grass there. I don't know if there's some way of incorporating that into the plan, so that could still be used as overflow parking when we do have, 600, 700 people there to accommodate those additional cars, as well as the additional parking that we have.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess that was my concern. I mean, yeah, it's nice to have parking for everyone that might show up, but for the other 360 days a year, why do we need that much parking? That's just going to be, I'd rather see grass than asphalt.
I don't think the car shows are gonna get smaller. And I guess I kinda know that Hutner wants to grow them bigger. Like September 12th, he's got a pretty good country band coming that's gonna draw 200-300 people alone, I think. That's my opinion.
And the grass parking, as long as everyone's
Right.
fine with the grass parking, I think the grass parking is
Yeah.
the perfect solution,
Yeah.
if everyone's fine with it. I mean, I
And
don't know
there-
what kind of a fairway system Marty needs to have going out there, if it needs to be in perfect shape or be
Nice.
okay with.
It should be, the
can
way it
handle
is
it.
now works well, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, any like other large events that you go to throughout the summer, or apple orchards or whatever else, you're grass parking.
Yeah.
Renaissance Fair, you're grass parking. Like,
And
we don't
you're-
have to,
And you're walking.
Yeah, and you're walking.
You're parking away and you're walking, and so people who live near know that they're just gonna walk, because they're not gonna deal with parking, and
Right.
And I
And
know
I
with the
think
car
that's
show,
part
the
of it.
cars like to park on the grass anyway.
Yep, they do.
Oh, for sure.
Yep, all the
So,
collector cars
Monster
do.
trucks too.
That would,
Yeah.
yeah, that would
That's
help a
another,
lot.
that's another issue.
So that being said, that really moves us back more than to concept one, right?
Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
that noted down. And I think, this is where the car show is right now, out on the grass. So, we can always look at building in some sort of roll curb. The older cars that have sort of a lower clearance, or some of the low riders, you could still park those on the pavement if there's a need, and then have a lower approach curb, and everyone else gets to go up on the grass.
obviously, we're only seeing like dots and descriptions on this.
Very
However, based on this, I feel like people would go wow to concept 1, and to concept 2, I mean, they'd be like, yeah, this is nice, but like, I think for a premier park, concept 1 feels.
I agree.
The other thing I look at, for me, when you go to at some point and very soon, the restrooms are 100% gotta happen. And once that happens, then what type of a building do you put up for those restrooms? Because it's gotta be, if you go brick, we're talking $4 to $5 million probably for sure. If you go wood structure, 80 by 160, I mean, to me, you could get that built, and that's a pretty decent size. I'm sure you can get that done for a couple $1 million. So money is going to play somewhat of a factor there.
don't see a
Right,
restroom
but
on
we
the
don't-
concepts either.
The pavilion is
Number 8
also
on
restroom.
concept 1.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
pavilion
have
and
that.
restroom 8. But if we keep the silos and things like that, we could then lean into the farm field, the machine shed, that could make it a cheaper option than having to build a brick building and things like that. A modern building might not look as pretty for the city slickers, but they would do the function of putting bathrooms in, and I know there's still a lot of expense there, but different ideas that we could incorporate with the design.
I don't think you'll get away with building a Morton type building, a pole barn type building.
Other cities do.
Yeah,
It's an option, that's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
yeah.
Well, I like both concepts very well. Anxious to see where this lands.
Yes, thank you for the feedback.
I'm curious how much the pavilion building, I don't know if you'd call it a pavilion or not, but the building in the French Lake Regional Park area costs, because that's like a nice multi-use, not like huge
Yeah.
party situation,
Yeah.
but there's like a couple like smaller event spaces. There's a decent amount of bathrooms. There's also like a little snack stand where they sell things, so I don't know.
Yeah, that was, the concessions was another thing that came up when we were talking to
Concessions, yeah.
folks, yeah. We'll take a look at that as we like refine this and.
Yeah.
Does the park, what type, when we think about buildings, like what do you want in the building, or what do you want to use it for? So is it like an event space that you can rent out for, whether it's parties or receptions, or versus just like a meeting space?
One of the biggest things that you've had trouble with is rain.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what kind of a amphitheater you build, if it rains, they're not coming unless they can be inside. So to me, you look at that also. I mean, that's why I'm saying at least 80 by 160 for some sort of a building,
Yeah.
Right, the one thing,
Sorry, no, that gives you the plan B. We've had to cancel events and try and find alternates, and there's not really any good alternative for a bigger band event in Dayton. So to have a building there, that would be really useful. And I'm sure that other people would want to use it for that function, for weddings and stuff. This place is, we got a wedding down there this weekend, I believe, yeah? On 20th. Yeah. So people are starting to look at it as a wedding venue as well. So to have the whole thing there would be good.
There's a lot of maintenance that comes with a building down there though too. I mean, you're not talking anything small, you're talking city hall size to get bodies in there and a band and all that stuff for a wedding and a venue. And all
Sure.
that maintenance could be a killer in the long run.
And all the audio equipment that you're now having to put into a building that's going to be hardwired and all the other things, it gets very expensive.
Yeah, I thought ooh, that was a big fly. Anyway, I feel like I remember a discussion of probably like springish time where we were shying away more from the wedding venue concept here.
right,
Yeah.
because just down the
Four of 'em already.
street, they're building that orchard
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
gonna have one, and there's multiple
Yeah.
going in our community, so I
Yeah.
just don't know that a
That's why I brought up
wedding
the French
venue
Lake
is,
area too, because that building is definitely not for like weddings, but it's like a nice, small, but not too small. I don't know. Look it up.
More small events, small parties.
Yeah, kind of
What-
checks the boxes.
What is the biggest event that you see having to happen indoors?
At this park.
Yeah,
At
at
that
this
place?
park, here.
I wouldn't support big indoor gatherings. I would support the outdoor, the river. That's why you have the view, that nature stuff. Versus, in my 2 cents, you guys are, please, I want to do yours too. But I'd say outdoor events, not indoor events in this location because of the view that's there.
And as someone who was looking forward to the one that was rescheduled to the 30th, if it would have been an indoor concert, we wouldn't have went. We won't go to an indoor concert because that's not the cool, you want to go out and you want to be outside, you want to, have a few drinks and hang out with friends outdoors, not go inside another building when it's,
And
summer.
packed like sardines
Yep.
and sweating and, yeah.
The problem you do run into there, and you didn't have any trouble with it apparently, because she got them all rescheduled, but a lot of times, if, like the August 8th event, they would have possibly worked it with us for next year. But if that event gets rained out, you pay for the entertainment no matter whether they play or not.
That's a chance you take for that
Yeah.
event
Right.
to put on, don't
Yep.
you? Carrie, you had something?
No, I disagree with you guys. I don't want a huge, I think it's the outdoor that we need to look at.
Yeah,
I
and
think-
that event center that's going up and other places that are being built in the area in the future then potentially could provide an indoor opportunity for, if that's needed down the line.
And that could be a cool partnership with the city, with the different organization. And once again, I mean, it would be, I think, trying to keep it as unique as it is right now is very important, I think, and keeping it that, you know, with the silos and stuff. Honestly, that's one of the cool things about going there is it's a cool park with, you know, some cool, almost art-like features because of everything there.
I agree.
Brad, do you have anything?
I'm good with all of that. I think ultimately, to me, the question comes back to Elizabeth, like, what do you want? What are you looking for? Because a lot of the stuff is on your shoulders, and if you're looking for something different than what we're saying, we'd love to hear your feedback, if you're okay with whatever. You know what I mean? Because there's stuff that's coming that you have to book and you have to put on, and so, like, what do you think?
I would say, yeah, the biggest issue we have is parking for all of our events. And then, yes, cancellations with rain and stuff, but I understand what you guys are saying too, with wanting to keep it more natural, so I kind of see both sides of it. But yeah, parking is a major issue for us.
Would it be good for the city to be able to do more inside stuff? Is there something that we're missing? If we are all saying, hey, we'd like to see something more outside focus, are we missing something by saying that? Or is the city good with that? Like, what do you guys think?
Well, I'd say right now, a lot of our events are outdoor-driven events because we have no option really to go inside. When you look at the activity center, it can only hold 173 people, so it really limits our space for like winter events or anything like that. So our biggest spots to hold events right now are either Elsie Stevens or City Hall with parking at the school and having to walk over. So those are kind of our only options for events right now, and you can't really hold an event in here, so it's all outdoor is our only option, pretty much.
So I guess that's my next question then is, are we missing the boat here by not using this as an indoor area? You know, we have the land here, right? We currently own the land. Are we making a mistake by not creating something there that can seat 300, 400, 500 or whatever inside? I'm not saying I want it. I'm just asking, like, is this something both from Scott's perspective, everyone's perspective, like, are we missing the boat here? Because I agree with you guys 100% on the outdoor focus, but when stuff gets canceled, when we don't have opportunities for other things in the winter, are we missing the boat? Because we know how expensive it is to buy more land. So since we have this land, are we missing the boat on not having some kind of a big indoor? I'm just throwing it out there because I don't know the answer.
So there are, my question to your question is, do we not have any other locations where we could, down the line, as Dayton grows, potentially
Yeah, because-
build a big
Because
community
this is
center?
beautiful outside.
We've been
so-
looking at a bunch of different areas to build like a community park, which would, you know, potentially hold these bigger events, but we haven't got anywhere secured on that. And I don't know, every year that goes by, the land gets more expensive. We're also looking for land for, you know, the community sports playfield,
Yeah.
both of which would, you know, would be needed, but they're probably two separate parks, but I have no idea when those are coming, or if they're ever going to happen. But that is what we would look at doing. This is something that we currently have, and we could do something here now. I mean, I don't know if it's something that's totally enclosed indoors or if it's just a type of shelter. I don't know if that would be enough for the band or whatever. But I think that, you know, it would be good to find some middle ground here and have something that we could use as a backup for these cancellation situations, and an opportunity for somebody who wants to get married by the river and not at an apple orchard.
Is there any more public engagements that you have scheduled where you're going to be taking a survey, something like this you could add to it?
Currently, no.
Is that something we could have?
I am going to defer to you guys on
I think, yeah, we could do that. It will slow the process down somewhat.
Yeah, if it's desired, yes, we can certainly assist with that. At this point in the process that we currently have outlined, we're at the stage of moving towards final plans. That's not to say, you know.
Were there questions on, or was there like options for indoor, you know, or what do you want to see at this park? I mean,
Yeah,
was there
that
any
did-
sort of an indoor feature listed in options?
We had a couple open-ended options in the survey for folks to, you know, contribute additional comments. That was one thing we heard during the stakeholder groups as well, as people were looking for additional, you know, there were a couple mentions of folks looking for additional, you know, places to do things in the winter.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know, yeah, because
Yeah.
if we've asked the question and people don't seem to care that much, then.
I think what,
It didn't make the list.
And they're more focused on restrooms, so.
right.
Yeah, they clearly just care
And
about
water play next
going to
to
the
the
bathroom.
I think what the process was going to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, Eleanor, is we would get to the final concept, or, you know, 90% plans, and then we would get some more resident feedback from that.
Okay.
But if there's a desire to, you know, ask some questions, again, we could do that.
Yeah, and a middle ground might be, once we've developed sort of a final survey, is similar to the process we've already used with an online survey, have that graphic up there and have
Yep.
folks, you know, give folks the ability to leave like a little pinned comment or something to that effect.
Sure. Okay. Any
Sounds
other
good.
one-liners?
No, well, I was just gonna say, if the commission had a strong opinion on the concept 1 versus concept 2, so like there's a lot of individual opinions, but I don't know if the commission is thinking as a whole.
I think we have 2 number ones, maybe
I'd go
3.
1.
I vote 1.
I like them both. They both have different options, right? I could see the parking on the one side versus where it is. I could see the water up at Overlook, or the water feature at Overlook versus down here. So I'm kind of open-ended. The majority says 1 though.
Yeah, I like 1 because it includes, like I said, some of the existing features that make it a unique park.
And I've got a note here as well to look at incorporating that existing park, or additional parking up at the Cloquet Overlook as well.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
All right. Another MSA, DNR landing design.
I'm back.
Eleanor's doing double duty tonight.
She's got this.
I'm back.
Just a little introduction here. We've worked with DNR quite a lot on this, and we've gone through, I think, we start off with 4 concepts. This is what DNR like. This is more of a courtesy showing of where we're at with it. The city doesn't have very much leverage over this. This is all under jurisdiction of the DNR, so they control what goes on there. But take it away, Eleanor.
Sure, so I don't have a lot to add other than this is the layout that's been discussed with the DNR, like Marty mentioned, for the additional space at the Crow, Mississippi Public Water Access. There's additional parking spaces, there's stormwater management, there's, let's see, some trailer pull stalls, and that is some additional lighting as well. Basically, if you have any comments, this has been reviewed by both staff and by the DNR as well at this point, but we definitely wanted to hear, any additional thoughts.
So the kayak landing is going to be where the original landing is. It's just up the top of your screen there.
Yeah.
There's more of a beach landing there. That area gets really silted up. That's why they want to move the motorized boat launch onto the Crow so they can get the boats in and out any time of the year. At this time of year, you can't get into the water there with a trailer.
So the kayakers would go around to get onto the Crow?
They don't know. They could go around to get on the Crow. Probably the idea is to go from DNR, landing down the Mississippi to Elsie Stevens, where that's a takeout point at this stage.
Okay. And it's a DNR, so they have their mind made up.
There's a lot of things that we have to adhere to, their rules and their design standards that they want in a boat landing. So,
I do see light poles, portable toilets, I just don't see a trash receptacle.
So again,
Trash receptacle, garbages.
I think I'm not sure that,
Will that be next to the portable toilets?
Yeah,
probably?
that- Probably
Yeah,
that.
I can check on that.
yeah.
It's important. No, it's a big
It
deal.
is.
It
It's huge. So good catch. I didn't notice that one.
Otherwise, we're gonna have to have Lori cover more ground, right?
Or try and recruit another 10 of them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, Lori, you got any friends?
Is there any other stuff you're looking for us on that, or?
Nope.
Okay.
Looks good.
Yeah,
Nice.
seems pretty straightforward and
Thanks for-
Construction
yeah.
2026
Thanks for
survey?
sharing with us.
I believe-
That's what we're looking at, yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Then it'll tie in with Elsie Stevens as well, so the two will be constructed around at the same time.
I like it. Awesome.
Well, thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Marty, West Mississippi River Regional Trail alignment.
Okay, we're going to revisit this. I just need some additional information. We did a trail last time that is for what the land ownership is currently. What I've been asked to provide is what would be the ultimate, if there were no homes on there, and what the ultimate trail alignment would look like. So that's your task tonight. The markers are there.
What color are we
You want
tonight?
You want to cover the input that somebody suggested that we go back to the board of this? The reason why we're doing number 2 again?
Yeah, why?
Basically,
I'm just
Zach
curious
wanted
why.
to have a clean slate one, so he wanted to have 2 versions of it, what the ultimate would be and what the one would be that's currently available to us.
And you want us to draw this without any homes?
Yeah, so all you got is the natural contours.
That's what Zach wanted?
That's what
Yeah.
Zach asked me to do.
Really?
And because it
That
seems
surprises me.
crazy if we're never gonna.
You're never gonna
We're
have
never
that.
gonna get it. So
Never.
I don't know
If
if
you-
I feel comfortable drawing through somebody's house that's
I
there.
know. I kind of felt the
It's a
same way
waste of
when I
time.
read it before coming tonight. I was like, I don't know how comfortable I feel with that. Because if I was a homeowner, that would just end up making me upset, and then we're gonna end up causing more problems.
Plus, you're also
than
giving the
what's
park
worth.
reserve a different message.
Right.
Well, I think the idea is to just see what the ultimate thing is there. I mean, this trail isn't going to be built next year. It's not going to be probably built for another 50 years. So, I mean, that home may not even be there in 50 years' time.
We get that. If we decide as a board that we like number 1 drawing regardless, can we stick with that as a plan, or are you going to force us?
To me, you have the option to get this trail built in 2029 or 2023. My idea is to make what you think can work in our lifetime
And do it.
and do it.
That's what I say. Let's get this thing built. Let's do what we can do right now.
You give the park reserve the option, hey, I mean, right now, I would support 75-25. Let's get it built in, when I believe the county is doing a lot of this, and it's happening in 2029, I think it is.
2029, yeah.
Get the whole thing built in 2029.
All right, team, you heard my thoughts. I don't feel comfortable, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts. I think you did a great job last time.
I really liked my drawing last time, and I think it was phenomenal. And honestly, we took into the aspect of our current situation. I understand that, 20 years from now, we might own every property on there. We probably won't. But I'd rather look at it what we can do now instead of looking what we could do. If you told me that they already had plans to buy a couple of these places, or we had plans to buy a couple of these places, that would change that. But I don't see the point of us saying, oh, if we hold out another 20 years, we might be able to do this beautiful trail that goes through there. If that changes, we then bring it up to that committee at that time and figure it out then.
And I don't think that this is taken away from the line that you've already drawn there. It's just an alternative that, maybe in 50 years' time, that's where it would look like. So,
I'm curious too with the idea of you know, let's build it in 2029 with what we've got. You know, if certain things are sold later on, ultimately, I don't know, a trail is some asphalt, and I know like it does cost money, but like it's not like something that could never be reworked after land is
It could
sold.
certainly be updated in 15 years. 10
Right,
years.
yeah,
It will have to
and
be.
just, I don't know, based on, I still remember that working meeting, and like, based on the faces of the people who were sitting there who own those homes and whatever, I just feel,
It was incredibly uncomfortable.
yeah.
And it was, you know,
And
I mean,
even though
like,
they're not here, the ghosts of their faces are
no, I
still
mean,
staring
we're
at
sitting
me.
there next to them in the audience, and the amount of anger that people had about this kind of led me to believe, like, hey, this doesn't seem like something you want to
Let's
really
chill out a little bit.
maybe push too far.
That happens every 2 weeks.
You're a lot tougher than us, Scott. To me, I looked at it and I kind of like what Scott's saying, is that, hey, if we can somehow make it work, whatever we can do, great. I see what Zach's saying. Like, I love a perfect, yes, if we could draw a straight line from the city of Dayton to, you know, all the way over the Mississippi River in Coon Rapids there, and you connect through here and here, and all that's great, but the reality is that there's plenty of property owners that aren't going to do it regardless.
And they
then-
kind of already did do a drawing of that, and, I mean,
Yeah, so don't we already have one?
that was fine.
So what is Zach ultimately wanting to see? Just like if we could just throw something out there that could go straight through and then figure out,
Well,
then he's
it
thinking
was
he would
ju-
just figure out the finances on the back end or the buying out of the properties? Or
I
what's
think you wanted to see what the ultimate line would look like if there was no property there, just following the contours and that kind of thing.
What?
Our old drawings up there, Brad, if you want to see it.
It's
Right,
the same
that's
as
our
the
marked
ones in
one.
here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's got the drawing on there.
Yeah, but this one doesn't show what we had drawn in.
Correct.
And this isn't an exercise to say, well, we're never going to do that. That's probably where we will end up. But it's, you know, if, you know, land becomes available, what would the alignment be going, you know, 20, 30, 40 years
Yeah,
time?
what is in the best interest of the trail system, not necessarily individual owners. So this is more, you know, when we look at the larger city picture, we can't focus on the individual property owners. We have to look at the big picture.
I get that, but it just doesn't feel right.
No, I understand.
The other thing too is like, if the situation were to change, isn't that the time then that they're gonna just ask for that concept to be drawn up again? Like, is what we're doing right now gonna really be saved, and like, that is the ultimate trail, and we're never gonna like relook at that or redraw it from
we'll see it again.
what this group of 5 people does?
No, I agree with
We'll
you.
see
I mean,
again.
it's kind of like the master plan for Elsie Stevens. That was done in 2010, and now we're doing it
And now we're doing it all
2025.
over
So
again.
I do get that, but, you know, you still have to have a starting point to
Right.
update that from, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the both ways, you know, obviously, I don't want to draw over, you know, oh, well, this trail is going to go right through, you know, so-and-so's bedroom. But at the same point, I can understand why they would want that. So, you know, in future lookings, like, what if this property does come available? Where would that trail, where would we want the trail to be at?
Yeah.
And, I mean, if they're looking at like 50-year plan, I can understand why they would want that. But I still agree, though, that it is kind of like you're driving through someone's literally house and stuff, but, I mean, if that's what you want us to do,
And I also just don't believe that it won't just be asked to be done again in
Right.
20 years.
What do you think is more realistic? Something that goes alongside the river and cuts through properties on that side? Or is it more realistic to follow alongside Dayton River Road and be right off? What's more likely to get through? Because either way, we're on someone else's property, right? So are we more likely to get people to give us space mirroring the road or mirroring the river? To me, they're more likely to give something on the road than they are on the river, because the river, no one wants.
Depending where their driveway is. If, you know,
Yeah,
it
but
might
in
be better
general,
to go around
if
that
you've
house.
bought a lot that's looking at water, in general, the last thing you want is random people riding their bikes through it.
Correct.
Or walking or whatever. So my guess is like, if we could do something off of the road, more realistically, what does that cost look like? And I know we've had this conversation a lot of times, but like, maybe people, do we know if the homeowners would be more likely to do it if it was on the side that isn't involving the water?
Yeah.
And then do we still want a path that's not involving the water?
Plus the contours, if you look at the red stuff, that's where it's the steepest, so a lot of it did actually hug the road as you looked at the trail. So you're never gonna get to the river,
Right.
as one would think, you're still gonna be up by the road.
Right.
Right, you're just gonna have more space between you and the road.
Well, we can go up there,
Alright, so
everybody
let's
come
do
up.
it. We gave our opinions, so let's go do it.
I'm not coming.
Have an orange if that was.
Yeah,
So this is what we did, yes, well, this is what we did last time, because they already own these spots. So we were showing that you go up and ride and come back down.
And, but like, again, there might be a more possibility for us to go through the back of the tree farm than, they could see that as a, a perk of, they could have 50 signs about how they can buy a tree because they rode this thing, It could actually be beneficial for them.
I mean, yeah, and ideally, from someone who would be an enjoyer of this trail, as I'm sure all of us would, we'd like to be by the river more than it is, if we're talking about an ultimate.
Right.
But the
what
positive
we've
is it'll probably
realized
cost
is
significantly
this
less.
slope is here, so even on these ones, you can't go up, because it's too expensive.
But we could do something like this, and, once again, the homeowner would have to agree, something behind the yard
Right.
to go into the tree farm and then come back over here. Would be a
Yes.
nice aspect if we were to be able to.
Right.
Now,
So-
in situations like this, I would not want to draw right through this house.
Right.
Like, I could see where we could weigh out both.
Well, this isn't gonna work anyways, so
Yeah.
that one will just stay.
Yeah.
All right, so do we just need to draw it right along this part?
Does anyone have any objections on, we can maybe break it up? Like we said, this is the tree farm. This person's backyard is decent. If we were to hug that, more of the slope, and come from here around, and then come through the back of the tree farm and then up. Once again, no idea if that would ever be able to be done.
But that's what,
Would-
yeah.
I feel comfortable drawing a line there, though.
And then,
Come down to Vicksburg and then, then go back up.
Yep, and we can even hug right here, being that this is one of our properties.
Yep, so go ahead.
Everyone okay
You
with
did
that?
great drawing last time, you go right ahead.
For the record, this is a consensus, this is not Luke destroying.
I think it's definitely you. So no, thank
Hey, now, be
you.
quiet.
How's that?
Somebody lives there.
There.
Nice.
And,
I mean, yeah, I'd agree.
thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
So, should we finish this way?
Yep,
then
and then we'll come back
Yeah.
that way.
So,
That's already kind of,
this one, once again, maybe,
Yep.
If
right
we
back
were-
there.
that's, yeah.
everyone agree?
Yep, that's what we're doing, is if that house wasn't there. So that's what
Well, even if it is, there could be a trail right behind it.
Yeah.
Maybe make it more marketable, I don't know. And then all of this is this residential that doesn't have,
Somebody's like,
there's a house and then there's a house. There's
is
nothing
this,
here.
this is just like clear, or is that like a court or something like that? I
Which
can't
part?
see. This is
Yeah,
just
that's like
clear.
a clearing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once again, hypothetically, perfect world, everyone wants a trail. We could go up against this slope and then maybe up front, so it doesn't impact this house.
Yeah.
And then meet up over maybe here.
Because don't we have to go up this way anyway?
For this slope is the steeper slope, they could do a bridge, they said. So if we wanted to, we could go right in front of this house, but I wouldn't want a bike trail right in front of my house, the first thing I see. But we could do a bridge type thing over here, and
So having it be like, kind of maybe like here-ish?
maybe,
through?
everyone okay with that? I want 5 people to say yes.
Well, I mean, they told us not to look at the houses, so you would.
Remember this?
Yeah, so you're not supposed to look at the house, so you're just
So-
supposed to go right through it.
Just look at the topography.
Yeah,
So
I did say
continue
you
on?
look at the topography, and that's. the
Everyone agree?
feeling.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep. Like Marty said, this is 100% topography based, not anything with.
And then a bridge across,
Bridge.
and then behind
And then,
here
yeah.
to go over.
Yeah, I agree.
These are pretty awesome.
And then end here.
Yeah.
Okay. So now over to this.
So this one you're gonna have to keep the same because of the
Yeah.
topography.
Yeah, I
And
don't
wouldn't
think
be
it-
worth going up, so I would just go up right there.
To there. Everyone good with that? I see. This is the most terrifying drawing I've ever done, I think, in my life.
This is giving me flashbacks to my
And then,
3rd birthday when they cut through my Barney cake and my uncles started screaming and pretending they were Barney.
so, given this is going to be a park, so we could continue right with the, over here?
Yeah.
Everyone good with that?
Yep.
And then,
Is there another bridge that needs to happen between this
Here.
area? Okay.
possibly. So a
Is
bridge
that an
here.
opportunity to, no, never mind, it's too high over there. Yeah.
Continue over
Yep.
through this.
Yep.
And then right across.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just a floodplain.
So you just gotta bring it all.
More or less right along like that. It'd be an awesome trail. And then right across here,
Yep.
right down to that.
Yep.
And then that we
That's
were
already
good
done.
with, and
Yeah.
There you go, Marty.
We did it.
Citizens can call Marty Farrell at Public Works for questions, concerns about this exercise.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, just a little.
All right.
what are we gonna draw next month?
I don't know, what would you like? Teddy bears, dragons? I mean,
Yeah,
current
architectural renderings of the building, the
Yeah.
pavilion, that's gonna go up in Elsie students.
Yeah, okay.
Have a work session, you provide pizza and salad and crayons.
And crayons.
Fantastic. All right, so that's it for the regular meeting items. Notice announcements, next Parks Commission, Tuesday, October 7th.
Sounds good.
Should be
Any
good.
other announcements?
I will not be here then. Just not that I'm ready to go.
No, Scott. All right.
So will you send somebody in your place, or
Okay.
do you just not?
I think
I don't
in the
know.
past they have sent somebody different, so.
Yeah.
I can.
Okay.
Fantastic.
I'll be in India.
That sounds
India?
amazing.
Nice.
What are you doing there?
Looking for pheasants.
Can I bear on
Feel
the
like-
property?
South Dakota's a lot closer.
All right,
Different pheasant.
I'll call for a motion to adjourn meeting.
I move the motion.
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, meeting adjourned.